I want to tackle the old age question of how to be happy. If you don't work on your pain from your childhood, on your feeling of not being loved, of not being enough, nothing you're going to do is going to fill that hole. And in those tears, I realized I needed to do something radical. And then I discovered this other part of me, the spiritual self, the soul self, this essence, the part of me that came into this world with nothing and that is going to leave with nothing. Here's the point. Every single day, I wake up to a life I've chosen. What if happiness was never lost, but is something that's been buried under the debris of stress, of noise, of kids, of family expectations, on your own personal expectations on yourself, pressure to be perfect, pressure to get everything right, pressure for more. Beautiful human, welcome to another episode of the Spiritual Rebel Podcast. In today's podcast, I want to tackle the old age question of how to be happy. And I also want to invite you to my happy human tribe. I want you to know that there are things that you could be doing every single day, little things that are going to make a huge difference in how much happiness you're able to tap into. Years ago, when I hadn't yet awoken to my power and inner truth, I discovered a huge secret. I was born with the mindset, or let's say brainwashed into the societal mindset, being from Africa, poverty mindset, that money would solve everything. If I just had enough money, if I just would get rich, if I worked hard and got lots of money, it's going to make my life incredible. Everything is going to be perfect. Well, at a young age, I did stop making money. I got discovered as a model. I got discovered into a modeling agency, and with 12, 13, 14, I was deeply involved in this world, making the money. Yeah, I did so well in the modeling industry back in Zimbabwe that I started working at 16. I got a job as an assistant in a shop, first of all, but then I started working to help at the back end with designing for the shop, going shopping, getting fabrics, drawing samples, and putting together collections for the store. So I found myself at 16, 17 years old. I'm already working, I'm already earning money, and guess what? Surprise! I wasn't yet happy. I was doing what I loved, what I was talented at, and it was a good time in my life for sure. But if you don't work on your pain from your childhood, on your feeling of not being loved, of not being enough, nothing you're going to do is going to fill that hole from the work that isn't yet done. But I didn't know that at that time. Then I met this incredibly handsome, tall Swiss man, and he swept me off my feet into a whirlwind of a world that I honestly didn't even know existed. With him, I went for the first time in my entire life on an aeroplane. And that's me at like 18 years old. I'm having my first aeroplane ride. And this beautiful man opened the doors to a world of travel. We traveled all over the world. We went to London. We went to LA. I remember eating at beautiful Spargo's restaurant with the celebrities. When I went to the bathroom, I even saw the beautiful Claudia Schiffer. That's a story for another time. But I was living the life. Chris and I traveled to Venice, should have been having the time of our lives. But guess what? Pain, the sadness that wasn't dealt with inside of me would show up every single day. The pain, the sadness that wasn't dealt in him would show up every day. So even though we were in these beautiful locations, we were fighting and arguing and bitching and moaning about the smallest things. The smallest trigger would set us off. And instead of connecting in love and joy and laughter, we'd be sitting there miserably sipping on our champagne, looking out at the beautiful boulevard of gorgeous people, actually miserable. Still, at that time, I had no clue that there was work inside of me that needed to be done. So I just thought it's me. I thought something's wrong with me. I'm broken. I'm not able to have fun. I don't know how to connect with this beautiful man. At that time, I was totally closed off sexually in terms of truth telling, speaking from my heart, setting boundaries. I was faking orgasms. I was faking having a good time. I didn't know that I had to develop my voice and set boundaries or speak up for myself. I was very trapped in my small-minded thinking without being aware of any of this. So fast forward to us separating very dramatically, yes, after one of our very sensational fights in his office, just so you understand the picture. And we were discussing what we were going to do. We were planning this amazing weekend and we started fighting. The argument got very heated. I started yelling. He started yelling. Chris ran out first. And then I ran out after him. As I ran out of the door, all the people outside were just quietly staring at me like, what is going on? These people are crazy. But I was completely lost in my drama. He ran to the elevator. He jumped into the elevator, got the elevator down. I jumped into the elevator. I tried to run after him, but the elevator door closed and he went down the elevator. I had to wait for the elevator. Finally, I managed to get the elevator. By the time I got down and sort of ran out of the building, he was just driving off in his car. I jumped into my car, started driving like a crazy wild woman, chasing this man as he drove his car. He drove so fast, like in a movie, wild speed chase. Okay, he turned sharp left, I turned sharp left. He turned sharp right, I turned sharp right. And it was complete scene, mad scene. And finally, he turned into this neighborhood where we lived. I guess he was thinking of heading home or something. And I was driving at such a speed that I lost control of the car. And amongst this beautiful scenery of the green, gorgeous neighborhood where we were, my car started spinning as out of control as I was. That's how the car was moving. The car span out of control and I saw it moving towards one of those big trees, big old trees. And I thought, this is it. This is it. My time has come and I'm going to be saying goodbye. And I just saw the tree coming towards me. And just like that, I snapped out of this daze, rage story that I was in. And I hit the brakes and literally millimeters before that tree, the car stopped. In the silence that followed, I could hear my heartbeat. My whole body was shaking. And I was completely in shock. I started crying, and in those tears, I realized I needed to do something radical to change my life because I was on a disastrous road. Yeah, a road that was leading me to who knows what, but it wasn't good. And I knew I had to get off this road. That very night, I went to stay with my sister. And I decided to fly to Miami to stay with a friend of mine. The story goes on and it's a longer story, but that decision to stop and get out of that situation so I could have time to reflect and think about what I was doing, think about my life. While I was in Miami, on the first night that I was there, I met a guy in a restaurant. My friend and I sat in that restaurant. And we were I was just happy to be away from all that drama. We were giggling and laughing together, and at a table next to us, they sat this Italian guy and his friend. And they started chatting to us. Nothing happened in this scenario. They literally just chatted to us, laughed, and walked away and went away. And we continued having our dinner. And the story goes longer and more complex. And I'll tell you that story some other time because I need some more stories to entertain you next time we meet, right? So that was the person, that Italian man that sat at that restaurant was the person that introduced me to the meditation, to the idea of going to India, which on his suggestion I did some months later. And in my, again, first ever meditation, I had an enlightening experience where I discovered that there is several layers of self. There is Mahima, the human body, with all the story, the thoughts, the feelings, the mindset, the conditioned self. And then I discovered this other part of me, the spiritual self, the soul self, this essence, the part of me that came into this world with nothing and that is going to leave with nothing. This part of me that is whole and not broken, that when you connect to, you immediately access peace, joy, love, ecstasy, well-being, a feeling that nothing's missing, a sense of completion where you're not waiting for something, you're not looking for something, you're not striving to achieve something, you are simply being. This amazing realization led me to discover that I had a superpower, which was that I was able to close my eyes and sit and go inside for hours and hours. While many people struggled even to sit still for 5, 10, 15 minutes, I could literally sit still for hours and hours. And that took me and led me into this world of self-discovery and self-healing. Now, I'm not saying that you need to sit around for hours and hours like I did, because I've created systems and programs that investing 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day can achieve tremendous amount of self-discovery. What we're really here to do is to unlearn the negative habits that we operate in because we are identified with our ego mind self. The part of me that couldn't enjoy no matter how much money, no matter how wealthy I was, no matter how much goodness I had in my life, that part of me is a part that there's many names that have been used for it. I use ego mind, little me. Yes, you're little human, as one of my coaches also uses. So when you understand that you are not that only, that is just a part of you. That is just like a small part of you, like small part of you, little human. And then there's the soul, the spirit, the essence, the truth that is inside of you. In my Happy Human Tribe, I have courses like the Self-Love Challenge. Yes, where you will deep dive to really understand what does it mean self. When we say self, we need to understand in the deepest depth of what that truly means. Yes, most of us think of self as me, Mahima, yes, the age, the self-mastery mentor, but we forget about the self that is connected to the trees, the plants, the stars that we don't see, the planets, the self that is the energetic self. When we think about love, we think about receiving love. Yes, we think about giving love. A lot of us are like, when my child was born, that's when I really discovered love. I discovered this amazing love that I could give to another human. Yes, a lot of us might say, I met my husband and he loved me unconditionally and oh my God, we shared so much love. What if love is who you are, not what you give and not what you receive? What if love was actually the DNA of your soul, of your spirit? So love is who you are. Imagine operating as love in your everyday life. How would that feel like? So the Happy Human Tribe is a place where I've put together some amazing trainings, as I said before, like my self-love challenge. you will also have access to my Energetics Mastery, where I teach you 4 main energy archetypes that you need to know about in order to show up powerfully energetically in the world. When you enter a room, your energy enters before you enter that room. When you speak on a stage, your energy speaks before your mouth even opens. When you spend time with your kids, your energy is affecting them more than the time you're spending with them. It's how you are energetically when you're with them. Yes, raising your energetic frequency, understanding that you're a healer, that you are a warrior, that you are an alchemist, yes, and a creator. Those are the 4 energy archetypes which I will teach you in the Energetics Mastery course. And then I also have like once a month where you can come on a call and get live coaching with me. The Happy Human Tribe is a membership. Yes, you pay a monthly fee and you can join every single day because it's a community where you can come and get strength and join others in your transformation. When I discovered that no amount of success in the world would make me happy, I was only 23 years old. Can you imagine how lucky I am to have discovered that at that young age? Because I came from that world of poverty where every cent was counted and you couldn't get this, you couldn't get that, you couldn't buy this, you couldn't do that, right? And I moved from that to be with my amazing husband where that wasn't the case. We had abundance. We were able to travel. We lived in a beautiful house with a swimming pool and a jacuzzi. Yes, I had a jacuzzi at 21 years old. I had a gardener. I had somebody cooking for me. I had free time to do my artwork, to live my life and do whatever I wanted to do. But again, I couldn't enjoy that because I hadn't built the worthiness. I didn't feel deserving. I was self-sabotaging myself the whole time. All I could focus on was what I didn't have and didn't even understand how to appreciate what I did have. The Happy Human Tribe is to help people appreciate what they have, to be able to celebrate your life, to be able to enjoy the things that you have right now, not from a place of, I should be so lucky, I have this, but from a rich and deep and enlightened place. Yes? When your heart opens and you discover that you are not your mind, you're not your negative stories, you're not the fear or the pain inside of you, you're not even because a lot of us feel a huge responsibility to take care of other people when we haven't understood that we need to take care of ourselves first. Yes, when you're strong mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, when you're unstoppable, when you've built that muscle where you can trust on yourself, you can trust that you're not going to break down, not going to burn out, not going to get depressed, not going to lose yourself in other people, in stories, yes, in work. Life takes on a whole other meaning. Life becomes so much more light, playful. You will find that it's easier to laugh. It's easier to enjoy the beauty that is all around you. This is an invitation. If you've been looking for powerful people to hang out with that want to make this world a better place, because I do believe that's important, to have that energy in your heart, to use your gifts to contribute to making the world a better place. Yes, with 22, 23, I started working on myself. With 27, I thought, I need to start teaching this. I need to start teaching this to other people. I just turned 54 years old and I feel like I'm just getting started with my legacy, with my teachings, with what I want to share in the world. Yes, and I wanted to create easy access. We have high ticket programs where people have invested from $10,000 to $50,000. Yes, the Happy Human Tribe isn't that. It is a low investment because I wanted more people to have access. We need more people having access to these high level trainings and ideas. So the Happy Human Tribe gives you that access at a very affordable rate. Go ahead, click the link in this podcast to find out what that is. Yes, we have a trial period where you'll pay a certain amount of money to try it for 7 days. If you like it, you can continue, and then it will charge a monthly charge. So I am excited to invite you, if your heart has been looking for a place, a safe space to work on why am I not happy even though I have everything, to work on what is my next soar. I've achieved this much. I feel really proud of myself, but I do feel something's missing. I do feel like I need to be more purposeful. I'm doing great work, but I feel it's not 100% aligned. Having all of this beauty around me, but I often feel lonely and I often feel sad and I feel something's lacking, something's missing. And let me tell you something so you guys understand that even though I started this with 22, 23 years old, I discovered at 40 that with all this knowledge that I had, one thing was missing. I didn't create a bigger vision for myself. So yes, I enjoyed the moment a lot. I traveled and had an amazing time. And by the time I reached 40, people looked at me and thought, oh my God, Mahima's life is amazing. She has this gorgeous husband. She has a 5.5 bedroom apartment in Zurich, Switzerland, overlooking the mountains. She is doing her artistic work with her painting. I was painting a lot back then. And she's helping others with her meditation. I was teaching meditation, and I had a room where I could get 10, 12, 13 people into this room, and we would meditate together. But I felt lacking. I felt like I have so much potential that I haven't yet untapped. I was frustrated. And I couldn't believe that I was already 40 and I was still just here. So it really doesn't matter what other people think about your life. People could be looking at you thinking, oh my God, she's made it. She's at the top of the world. What matters is what you think. What matters is what you feel. Yes? And so if you feel that there's something that still needs to untap, do not waste any more time. Yes? Do not waste any more time like on your own trying to figure it out. I honestly wish that I hadn't waited till 40 to realize that I wasn't able to get myself to that full expression of my potential, that I wasn't able to unleash on my own that feeling of greatness that I had inside of me, of something more needs to be accomplished. So I made changes. After my 40th birthday, I joined a community. Yes, I got coaching. I got people to help me get this potential out. And boy, did I. Yes, I've traveled all over the world as well. I've been in America. We've been all over Europe sharing with my brand, the Mahima Mindset. And we have something called the Own Your Superstar trainings. You may have heard of them, that I have run all over the world. But once again, what I saw through all of that is people long to come together with other beautiful humans. We have such a diverse and gorgeous community of people from all over the world. So what's cool is that when you join the community, you have friends that are, in Finland. You could find a friend in Switzerland, America. We have people in Cape Town, in South Africa, in Johannesburg. So you might be able to start traveling and meeting beautiful people on different continents, because it matters to come together as community. It matters to share our divine selves with each other. That's it for today. That's it. Bold and beautiful invitation to join my Happy Human Tribe. You can test it out for 7 days. If you love it, you're in, and we can rock this thing together. Thank you for your beautiful heart that is here contributing by wanting to be the change that the world needs. Because honestly, that's what we need to be doing. We need to be creating change by changing ourselves. So thank you for doing that work. Thank you for understanding that internal world matters. Yes, healing the trauma, healing the negative beliefs, changing and shifting the ideas that tell us that, for me, that told me that I couldn't be wealthy, that I couldn't live my dream life, that I had to stay in a 9 to 5 job, like just breaking all that bullshit and creating a new way of thinking so that I could create a life that honestly, it's a dream. It's like a dream. It's like a dream come true. Do I have challenges and struggle? Yes. And I'm super happy to share the things that I'm struggling with at the moment as I continue in this beautiful podcast with you. I'm happy to share, struggles and things that go on in my life. But here's the point. Every single day, I wake up to a life I've chosen. I wake up to the understanding that I have the power to change whatever I don't like in my life. I am empowered, and that's what I want to teach you in my Happy Human Tribe. Yes? Share this video with anyone that you know needs to get this message. I love you, and I will end this with what I always say: love, love, love. Love yourself, love the world, and love others. The world needs your brilliance. The world needs your light. Can't wait to read your comments. Bye, Angel.